For all Stewart's ability, it seemed somehow appropriate in 1968 that Graham Hill, fighting nobly for Lotus in the aftermath of Clark's death, should win the championship.
But at Monza that year, I categorically spent the entire weekend playing towards the last lap.
The teams were being paid according to their position at quarter distance, half distance, three-quarter distance, and full distance. And as it was going to be a slipstreaming race, I had this arrangement with Jackie Webber. When he came up to quarter distance, we'd give him a countdown, lap 3, lap 2, lap 1, so that when he went by at quarter distance, he would be in first place and receive first place prize money for quarter distance. He achieved this at quarter distance, he achieved it again at half distance, and at three-quarter distance, and most important of all, he won the race. It was like a cash register going on in his head.
We're looking down at the approach to the Parabolica, down to the Vialoni, 185 miles an hour, 4 cars virtually together, and down to the Parabolica they come. Can Stewart hold the line on this, the last lap? Somebody's challenging, it's Ritz going through. Jock and Ritz takes the lead at the Parabolica on the last corner of the last lap. Beltoire's going through. It's Beltoire's taking the lead, and it's going to be a French match for the win. It must be. It's over the line together, and it's almost a dead heat. It's Jackie Stewart, Ritz, Beltoire's, and McLaren. Nobody has ever seen the finish of a motor race like that.
The Cosworth engine took every race that year, with Stewart's Matra winning more often than not. Monaco 1970 has passed into racing legend. This is what happened to Brabham at the last corner of the last lap.
His carriage had run out of petrol just before the last corner, and that was just one of those decisions. I took the wrong decision, went down on the inside of him instead of the outside of him. And of course all the sand was on the inside, and I just couldn't stop for the corner. And Ritz got by me for the lead.
Brent went on to become world champion, but was killed in practice for the Italian Grand Prix. He's the only man to have won the title posthumously.
But Jochen was really a tiger of a driver, and would have gone on, I think, to win more than one world championship, although I think he would have retired before too long. He wasn't in love with motorsport. He loved it, but he wasn't in love.
It's all too easy to end up at Monza when you're choosing good races, because you're looking for things which have been competitive and exciting, and Monza was always that for the chicane. Not always now, unfortunately. But for 1971, I've chosen the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. It was the 3-litre formula, and we had Tyrrells and Brabhams and BRMs and Ferraris, McLarens, Lotus, March. There were 8 people who led that Italian Grand Prix at some time during the race. Then, as so very often happens, people fell by the wayside. Amon went out, Siffert went out. But in the end, just like previous races at Monza, but even more so, it was a slipstreamer to the end. Peter Gethin in the BRM won his only Grand Prix, one of the most memorable of all time in the BRM. He won it by a metre from Ronnie Peterson and François Saveur and Mike Harewood, and 0.3 of a second covered the first 4 home. And Peter Gethin won at an average speed of, if I remember correctly, just under 151 miles an hour, and that's still the fastest Grand Prix of all time. It was an incredible race.
But it was Stewart, now driving a Tyrrell, who took his second title. Although he lost it the following season to Brazil's first world champion, Emerson Fittipaldi of Lotus.
In those times when he drives to get the results, he was not very quick, but he was very careful with the car, and he finished all the races. And those times, the ability in the car was very bad, and you have to be very, very soft with the car. And he was a man, he always depart 5th and 6th and all finished in the end, or 2nd or 3rd. He didn't have much quick laps, he didn't have much pole position, but he always finished well in the points and win the championship and making points.
Jackie Stewart was making a point the following year.
Jody Scheckter ahead of Denny Hulme, and then Francois Sever, and Jody Schecter's lost it. Jody Scheckter has been hit. A multiple shunt.
It was a selection of tyres. We had new tyres. We had a hard tyre on one of the sides, and it was new. And I came in and it was cold, I think, going into that corner, and just got away from me. One of those things. The thing I remember about it is the team manager holding me back and Surtees trying to attack me afterwards. I think that's the thing I remember most about it. They were trying to hide me away afterwards.
Although Peter Revson was eventually to win the restarted race, Stewart and Lotus's Ronnie Peterson were the main attraction.
And here's the duel between the JPS and the Tyrrell, and Jackie Stewart was really closing on Ronnie Peterson at Beckett's there and got into a bit too much of a slide for comfort, but he's closing a little now. As we look down from the airship, we see that the Tyrrell, in fact, has it on the fastest section of the course. He's closing right up. Jackie Stewart overtaking on the inside and very nearly losing it. Right through the markers on the inside, and Stewart, he's still sliding and he's still in trouble. He was in 120-mile-an-hour skid there, and now he's really in the agricultural business.
Tragically, Stewart's teammate, Francois Sever, was killed in practice for the last race of the year at Watkins Glen, so Stewart withdrew from what would have been his 100th and final Grand Prix. He did, however, retire with the World Championship, his third in 5 years. The following season, Emerson Fittipaldi, now with McLaren, won his second, fighting Ferrari all the way. But in 1975, Niki Lauda and team manager Luca Montezemolo made it a year for Maranello.
Niki formed a very, very powerful team with Luca, who after all was an administrator, not a racing man. And between them, they turned Ferrari round completely. Niki told him what to do, and Luca went out and got it done.
To such good effect that Lauda waltzed to the championship, beating Fittipaldi by nearly 20 points. One of the sport's greatest characters, Graham Hill, died that year, only months after retiring. The plane crash also took the lives of Tony Bryce, his new driver, and several other team members. Through a controversial and dramatic 1976 season, the leading players were James Hunt and Niki Lauda. The Austrian began the year wonderfully, and by the time of the Spanish Grand Prix easily led the championship. But Hunt won well in Spain, only to be disqualified at post-race scrutineering. Although his victory was reinstated on appeal, it set the tone for the season.
The only problem is we were using slightly different tyres, which had a little bit bigger bulge, and that's the widest point on the car. Yeah. And it was, in fact, I think 3/8 of an inch too wide or something, minuscule.
Just under 2 centimetres.
Yeah. And that was purely the bulge in the tyres.
At the British Grand Prix, there was yet greater controversy when the Ferraris of Lauda and Regazzoni touched at the first corner, triggering a multiple accident. Hunt won the restarted race from Lauda, but afterwards Ferrari protested, claiming repair work done on Hunt's car before the second start had been illegal.
There was nothing in the rule book, there were no grounds in the rules that could possibly suggest that I was going to be disqualified or it was ever going to be a problem. As a result, I think McLaren's, led by Teddy Mayer, didn't prepare any defence properly for when it went to Paris in September.
I think he drove a very good race there. But you know, the judges in Paris said that he was illegal in the race, therefore he disqualified. So I think he changed a bit, and I think it's not right what he did, because I think he should respect the sport as it is, even if things are going wrong for him.
Things had gone appallingly wrong for Lauda at the Nürburgring, where he came close to losing his life.
When I came to the hospital, you know, you feel like kind of you feel like you are very tired, and you would like to go and sleep. But you know it's not just going sleeping, it's something else. And then you just fight with the brain. You hear noises and you hear voices, and you just try to listen what they're saying, and you try to keep your brain working and to get the body ready to fight against the illness. And I think this was very good that I did that, because in that way I survived.
Incredibly, Lauda was back for Monza just 6 weeks later, but Hunt had cut his points lead, and this victory in America gave him a shot at the title in Japan, the last race of the year. As they gathered in the rain at Fuji, Lauda had 3 more points than Hunt. The race was delayed in the hope conditions would improve, but when they didn't, the cars were flagged away, and Hunt took an immediate lead. After 2 laps, Lauda pulled in and retired. His life, he said, was more important than the World Championship, and perhaps he was the bravest man in the place. Hunt continued in the lead, despite spirited attacks from Brambilla and others. And while Lauda looked on, the title seemed assured. But then James had to pit for new tyres. Now he needed third-place points to win the title.
The pit signals that I got were not consistent, right? By the end of the race, they'd got, from their lap chart, what turned out to be correct. But 3 laps before the end of the race, they were giving me a complete jumble of signals, and then suddenly it said 4th, which I probably was at the time because I passed somebody else to finish 3rd, right? But with their track record for handling things in a crisis and a panic, I wasn't prepared to believe McLaren's and their lap chart, and because I'd had too many disappointments already that year with things happening after the race.
No disappointments this time, though. Hunt was indeed 3rd and therefore world champion. A single point separated him from the gallant Lauda. Nicky was back the following year, though, champion again for Ferrari. It was all Lotus in 1978, Mario Andretti becoming champion, although grieving for his teammate Ronnie Peterson, who died at Monza. The first turbo win came at Dijon in 1979, but everyone remembers the fight for 2nd place.
And Arnou's going to do it. René Arnoux is challenging for 2nd as they come up to Villeroy, but Villeneuve will not give way. Arnou's got the inside line and the shorter line, and he takes 2nd place as they go into the right-hander and the left at Sablière. And now Renault's indeed are 1st and 2nd in the French Grand Prix, and the French crowd is going mad, roaring in the background. The twin-turbo Renaults appeared at Monaco, not their circuit. And now we're into the start of the 79th and last lap but 1 with René Arnoux 2nd, and Villeneuve go. Incredible! Villeneuve stood on everything, locked up his tyres, got the line, and he's back into 2nd position on the last lap but 1, and the French crowd aren't very happy about that, and who can blame them? And he's close right up on Villeneuve, and he's going to try again. They're coming into the start of the last lap behind Jochen Maas in the A2 Arrows. And Arnoux does it, does he? And Villeneuve locks up. And Villeneuve has had to go wide, and Arnoux's on the inside as they go round Villeroy. He's got the shorter line. He's got 2nd position. He's got 2nd position. He's through. They bang wheels. He's off. He's off. And he's back again. René Arnoux off the circuit and back again, and now Villeneuve's in 2nd position, and this is the last lap. And Villeneuve goes over the corrugations, and he nearly loses the front as they go up to Parabolique on the 80th and last lap. And he's back, he's in 2nd position. Villeneuve is 2nd in the Ferrari. Down to 3rd position goes Arnoux. To La Bretelle, 80th. 80th lap in this 80-lap race, and there's less than a third of it to go. Now, can Arnoux, on the tremendously fast La Combe, Courbe de Pouar section, 150 miles an hour, get past? They go past Jochen Maas, and Jabouille wins. Jean-Pierre Jabouille has won in the Renault. Who is going to be 2nd? Into the Courbe de Pouar they come. There is Riccardo Patrese, and Villeneuve is 2nd. Arnoux is 3rd.
In Holland, Villeneuve's leading Ferrari had a tyre going down.
Yes, and Villeneuve's lost it. Incredible. Villeneuve, 360-degree spin. Jones manages to avoid him and goes through and takes the lead. Fantastic. Alan Jones.
But Villeneuve's unquenchable spirit made him a legend the world over.
We had a good relationship. I think he wanted to win every lap and not win races. He wanted to be impressive in that way, and that's what he did. He was a very fast driver, but wasn't at the stage where he was a good winner.
Which was fortunate for Scheckter, who took the title that year in a Ferrari clean sweep. The Italian cars were nowhere in 1980, however. At the penultimate race of the year in Montreal, the championship was between Alan Jones's Williams and Nelson Piquet's Brabham.
At the start of the race, we screamed down to the first corner, and I got the jump on him, held my line, and we touched him. He went into the fence and damaged that car severely, his race car.
It seems a long time. It's go. And Piquet's pulling across in front of Pironi, and Jones is round in front of him, and it's a multiple crash already on the first lap, and Piquet's off.
Well, a very sad race for me, because in the first start, Alan pushed me in the wall. I have to change for the spare car, and I did another start, and I overtake Alan after 3 laps, and I open about 15 seconds, and my engine blew up. and I lost the championship in that race.
Jones put a double lock on the title with victory in the final race, handing Frank Williams his first championship.
Not a brilliantly exciting circuit, but an absolutely riveting race, and that's the Spanish Grand Prix at Jarama. And Villeneuve had a car which handled like a barn door. It was appalling, but he got this fantastically powerful V6 turbocharged engine bolted onto the back of it, and he knew that from row 4 he had got to make a good start. He made a fantastic start. From row 4 he was third by the first corner. On the second lap he was second only to Alan Jones. And Alan led for 17 laps with Villeneuve chasing him hard and all the rest in line astern behind. And then Alan, most atypically, went off and allowed Villeneuve through, and of course Alan was history then, he did finish the race. But from then on, Villeneuve, by just keeping his line on the corners, going like smoke down the straights, letting nobody past him on the straights, knowing that on the corners, knowing that no one could get past him on the straights, stayed in front from lap 17 until lap 80. 1 second covered the first quarter. You never knew who was going to be coming around first. It was incredible. Real cliffhanger.
At Silverstone that year, an early incident put several cars out. But John Watson in a McLaren squeezed through the carnage somehow to take an emotional home victory.
And I felt something, experienced something which I'd never experienced previously and I had never seen at a British race before, and that was the public. They just en masse came across the barriers and onto the track, and they cheered. And I mean, I can even now, talking about it, feel the tingles. And they were cheering for me, and I couldn't understand why. I'd just done the job. I won the race, and I could understand in your own country what it means to someone. But it just seemed to be on the day the crowd at Silverstone were looking for a British victory. They got it with me, and they expressed their appreciation in the best possible way they could, and it was just, I mean, a memory I will never forget.
The championship, though, went to Nelson Piquet by a point from Carlos Reutemann. Imola in 1982 was to become notorious.
And Villeneuve made a mistake. He just went wide, lost traction, and Pironi nipped through. Just a little mistake from Villeneuve, and that's what it's cost him. It's cost him the lead. Yeah, Villeneuve's well placed now. He's picking up the draft well. He's going to be alongside. Which side's Pironi going to keep? Pironi, I think, has made him go the way he shouldn't have done. The long way around, Villeneuve's inside. Ooh! Absolutely side by side. But Villeneuve's got the line up the hill into the next corner.
And look at the ATS right in the line of both of them, and Villeneuve takes his opportunity, comes out to the left, and it could be that Pironi's going to be balked, and they go through absolutely together, and Villeneuve leads again. And look at that, Pironi and Villeneuve absolutely together.
Pironi's in the lead. Pironi's just nipped through with the, unfortunately the director was away, but Villeneuve is going to respond here, possibly.
And he's done it. We are around the Tamburello, and see Pironi now. He's going through.
Pironi's got to come down the inside. He's got him. Oh, he's going wide. Oh, fantastic stuff. They've changed places on 2 laps running, and Pironi now, all he has to do now is keep it pointing the right way. And no mistakes, because there really isn't a passing place. Unless Villeneuve can have a go up here, there aren't really any more passing places on the lap. So it looks as if Pironi's done it.
He had, but according to Villeneuve, by duplicity. 2 weeks later, still livid and unsettled, the Canadian crashed to his death during qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. Monaco that year was extraordinary. Late in the race, Alain Prost's leading Renault broke, crashing into the barriers. And into an unexpected first place went the man who had never previously won a Grand Prix.
I went into the lead and I said, okay, Riccardo, you have to make 1.5 laps now, go very slow because it's damp. But I was not slow enough because I spun. And I said, oh my God. And while I was spinning, I saw some cars coming through, like the Ferrari of Pironi, the Alfa Romeo of the Cesaris, and even Williams.
Patrese on the move again, very fast, but no hope of catching Pironi, who goes into the tunnel for the line. Is that Peroni stationary? It is! My goodness! The third leader in 2 laps.
He must have run out of petrol. There's a big problem for the Ferrari engine is very, very thirsty. They have a fuel problem, and he could have run out of petrol.
And that is De Cesaris's car. But De Cesaris would have taken the lead when Peroni... So that means to say that Derek Daly could win this race. Patrese could win.
Patrese did win, but it was Keke Rosberg's flair and consistency which took the title for Williams. Nelson Piquet's second title was snatched from Alain Prost in the final race of 1983. But Prost's only rival the following year was his McLaren teammate Niki Lauda. To be champion, Prost had to win in Portugal.
So now Prost having another look, but and this time he's got a good draft, and I think he's inside him, yes, and Alain Prost takes the lead, and I'm sure he's going to pull away now.
For the title, Lauda needed only second place. After a poor grid position and a cautious start, the number 8 McLaren was 5th by lap 28 and chasing Keke Rosberg.
As Lauda goes past the Williams, and he is definitely in 4th position. And they're battling for 3rd position. Still Prost first and Mansell second. And Lauda is going through this time, surely. He's got the line. And yes, indeed, as they go into turn 1, at the end of lap 33, Lauda is up into 3rd place. Only Mansell between him and his teammate Prost.
But not for long. Eventually, Mansell's brakes failed, leaving Lauda in the second place he needed.
I only know that the last year's one was the most difficult one in the way of having to fight to the last race to finish second behind Prost and then beat him by half a point. So from this point of view, it was, sure I remember it.
I was not too disappointed because that was a very good season in terms of ambience in the team, and with Niki we enjoy very much racing together.
There was more high drama in Portugal the following year. In dreadful conditions, many cars spun off and crashed. But Ayrton Senna, who had nearly won in similar conditions at Monte Carlo a year earlier, drove flawlessly in the Lotus to win his first Grand Prix.
It off goes Prost and regains and spin. Alain Prost spins right off, and he's going to be out of the race with a smashed rear wing.
The victorious Senna now rejoiced that he had served his apprenticeship in England.
I guess having been racing in England before Formula One for a few years, with the English weather has taught me a lot.
No weather problems for anyone at Brands Hatch in 1985, and none of any kind for Nigel Mansell.
Look at this, a terrific scrap for the lead, and there's a change because the Williams has gone past Ayrton Senna, who has therefore lost the lead, and he has lost it to Nigel Mansell, and now he comes out of clearways and takes the checkered flag, and Nigel Mansell has won.
Alain Prost's 4th place was enough to give the popular Frenchman his elusive first title, and by quite a margin. In 1986, a Williams Honda was the thing to have, but in Spain, at the new Jerez track, it wasn't quite enough for Mansell.
It's going to be one of the closest Grand Prix finishes, whatever happens, that we've seen for a long, long time. They're coming up to the hairpin now. This is it. Down into second gear, and Mansell, if he gets it right, can sprint out of the rear wing of Senna's car. Senna moves across. He's keeping Mansell back, and he wins. Mansell won't like that any more than he likes at Brazil.
On Friday and Saturday, the start and finish line was here, and for the actual race, if you recall, they actually moved the start and finish line back towards the corner by 30 metres for timing reasons or whatever, but it wasn't in the same place. I mean, they never told any of the drivers, so I mean, come Sunday we're racing, and you know, I'd saved it and I came out the corner, I pressed my overtake boost button, and there I was. And if you look, literally about 20 feet past the line where the flag was, I was in front, and I thought I'd won.
If Mansell felt hard done by then, much worse awaited him at the Foster's Australian Grand Prix. As he followed Keke Rosberg and Nelson Piquet, he knew 3rd place would make him world champion.
And then the lap previously to the problem I had, Keke, who was leading the race, and it was his last race if you remember, and if Keke would have won, I'd have been champion as well. And he had a tyre problem, but everyone thought the engine had broken. Even Keke thought his engine had exploded. And then by the time we'd radioed probably 10 laps before this saying, you know, we're coming in for tyres, and they said quite rightly, because Goodyear had examined other people's tyres, saying there's no problem, you're doing the lap time, stay out. There's only 16 laps to go, 20 laps to go, there's no problem. And then, of course, going down the main straight, I remember pressing the overtake boost to get past Philippe Alliot and then to come in behind Alan again. And then the tyre just let go in the biggest possible way, which everyone saw, so I don't need to go into that.
And look at that! Out that, and colossally, that's Mansell! That is Nigel Mansell, and the car absolutely shattered. He's fighting for control, and you can see what's happened. Mansell is out of the race. Now, this could change and will change the World Championship.
Certainly it did, and Prost found himself a somewhat surprised world champion in a season largely dominated by Williams. Mansell's most dramatic win came at Silverstone the following year. An unplanned but necessary pit stop left him chasing teammate Piquet on fresh tyres but a long way behind.
And then I believe in the last 19 laps we broke the track record 11 times, and then did that fantastic dummy down hanger straight, and shall we say there wasn't much room between us going into Stowe. And of course it was just a sensational victory because it was almost unheard of. And then for me, the engine blew up on the slow down lap. I actually had meltdown on the pistons and the turbo because I had the turbo full boost for about the last 6 laps, and I was out of fuel on the last lap because that was the year that we had to sort of regulate the fuel, and I was minus fuel going on the last lap, and I just thought, it's a British Grand Prix, there's no way I'm stroking it, I'm gone.
Gone too was Jackie Stewart's long-held record of race victories, as Alain Prost won the Portuguese Grand Prix, the 28th of his career. Although Mansell won twice as many races as Williams' Honda teammate Piquet, the Brazilian's better consistency made him world champion. Controversy at Monza. Ayrton Senna perhaps chanced too much when he lapped Jean-Louis Schlesser's Williams at the chicane. Without that incident, McLaren Honda would have been unbeaten in 1988. A month after Enzo Ferrari's death, his cars finished 1-2 at home. In Japan, the championship fight was an all-McLaren affair between Senna and Prost. And when the Brazilian almost stalled at the start, race and title looked Prost for the taking. But this was to be Senna's day of days.
That was a tremendous race. As you know, at the start I almost stole the engine. From pole position, went back to 15th, 16th place on the first corner. And to recover all those positions with traffic, lapping people, overtaking people, and catch Prost, who had a clear circuit all the way, it was a tremendous achievement for me.
Senna is getting close to him, and Senna is going to challenge for the lead. Ayrton Senna has got the lead. And that was exactly as we predicted as a possible situation. The traffic definitely held Alain Prost up, and Prost will be pretty upset.
It was a beautiful result, and I guess it's the way a driver can dream about winning a championship in such a style.
The same cannot be said for the way the title was decided in 1989. The McLaren teammates, now open enemies, went into a race that Senna had to win to keep a flame under his title hopes. Senna got going again, eventually overtaking Sandro Nannini to win the race. But FISA, the sport's governing body, disqualified him, confirming Prost as champion and sparking one of the greatest controversies the sport has known.
I think it's a sad way of having a championship finish. I think I wanted to win Japan the same way I did in '88. But unfortunately, that's the way it went. In 1990, the competition has been very strong. Difference between cars so small, and we have seen many different situations where people were involved in incidents. Different cars, different drivers, different circuits. And Japan, unfortunately, was another example of it.
And Senna sprints away, but Alain Prost takes the lead. It's happened. Alain Prost has taken the advantage. Senna is trying to go through on the inside, and it's happened immediately. This is amazing. Senna goes off at the first corner, but what has happened to Prost? He has gone off too. Well, that is amazing, but I fear absolutely predictable.
It's important to have some rules that everybody accepts, and if you have any weakness in terms of rules in this kind of environment, it's finished. So that's why what I don't like at the moment.
The end of another controversial season then, and the teams prepare for Adelaide and the 500th World Championship race. In Australia, they know how to put on a Grand Prix and also how to celebrate a special one.
Australia is go, and Prost leaps up from behind, tucks in behind Mansell. And he's going for it. Mansell going for second.
Berger got a problem there. I think it may have been a missed gear. Let's see.
There you saw the Ferrari running wide, but it's Berger still there, and Piquet is ahead of Alain Prost.
Aloha! Talofa!
And Nelson Piquet is getting alongside Berger. He's lined up and he's got inside him. Straight line speed of the Ferrari. Mansell hopes will carry him past Griard. Will it, will it, will it? He's going to have to be brave on the brakes, and he did it.
That is Senna. This is incredible. Ayrton Senna, there's his car. Ayrton Senna is not going to win the Australian Grand Prix. Sack.
Oh, he's having a go. Oh!
Formula One racing to me was not fun, exhilaration, excitement.
Obviously it had its high points and it had its low points. Far too many of the latter, actually.
It's enabled me to earn my living in a business which I enjoy.
Formula One Grand Prix motor racing has given me everything I have in life.
Now, I'm just learning it. Now I quite like motor racing. I didn't ever really like it very much when I was doing it.
You have to drive racing cars with your heart and your head for it. The main thing is the heart.
Well, it's a fulfillment of a childhood ambition, basically. As a child with my father racing, I wanted to be a Grand Prix driver. I dreamt about it. And that dream, through the help of my family, has become a reality.
What I done was very, very good, and I'd like to do a little bit more.
It's been an incredible, fascinating, at times magical experience.
It has enabled me, I think, to visit 18 different countries and to have a life better than I could possibly imagine anybody else having.
But it's something that, together with the difficulties, with the frustrations, and the good feelings, the positive things come above all so far. And as long as they continue that way, I'll be racing not only with my heart, but with my mind and my soul.
Yeah, that's not him. What? That's not the bloke we're after.
A case of mistaken identity goes a long way for the boys from the bush.
You did give him a photograph, didn't you?
Isn't that Dad? Driving that taxi.
Don't you see, you know, we could be sitting on a gold mine here.
It is Dad.
Whatever this is, it's wreaking trouble.
Oh, I don't think so, Arlene. Your dad's younger than that.
The Boys from the Bush, Friday at 9:30 on 1.
I think the VHF is B-U-S-T.
BBC Two will be partaking of the spot of food and drink in a moment, and the menu includes tasty American fast food and some good old H2O as Oz Clarke samples Britain's tap water. There's also a look into the mystique behind organic produce, which can cost 50% more than that cultivated with chemicals. Here on One, David Coleman is about to pose more questions of sports.
Hello, welcome to Question of Sport. And Ian Burton, having forced a draw last week with the final question, still leads Bill Bowman 7-5, and there have now been 3 draws. Ian's teammates tonight are Eamon Martin and Wade Dooley. Eamon is the reigning Commonwealth Games 10,000 metres champion, who first made an impact as a junior, winning the English schools cross-country title. He went on to win the coveted National Cross-Country Championship and is now the fastest Briton ever over 10,000 metres. Wade insists on playing his rugby with a small club, Preston Grasshoppers, but he's won more caps for England than any other second-row forward, a record previously held by Bill Bowman. Wade's now played for England nearly 40 times and was a key member of the Lions team that won the Test series in Australia. Well, Bill is joined tonight by Brian Robson and Emma Jane Mack. Brian is the Manchester United captain who's led them to no less than 3 FA Cup final wins. With England, he's played in the final stages of 3 World Cups and been capped almost 90 times. Emma Jane Mack has been one of Britain's top show jumpers ever since she won the Fox Hunter Championship at Wembley in '87. A member of the powerful Ted Edgar stable, she's a former ladies national champion, a regular member of the Nations Cup team, the current holder of the Queen Elizabeth Cup, and the top-ranked lady rider in Great Britain today.
You probably can't tell anybody.
Well, straight to round 1 now, and Eamon Martin has to decide which of the numbers he likes best. Behind each one, a sometimes familiar face or a not-so-recognisable figure. So what's it to be, Eamon?
Number 9, please, David.
Gordon Bennett. It's another stupid cricketer dressed up, isn't it?
You're
looking
at
some
fair
parties, these on tour. I would say Mike Atherton.
Mike Atherton we're going for.
He's convinced he's a cricketer.
He's a pantomime king, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got it right.
Well, they're going to say wrong then.
Brian?
Number 7, please, David.
Well, certainly someone the 2 captains know very well indeed.
She must have been on the programme. Well, it's embarrassing.
Yes, it would be.
Geometry, jockey here.
Is it
Geometry.
G. Armitage, the National Hunt rider? No.
It's going to be very embarrassing, William. Oh! It's not Anne Hobbs, is it?
Well, are you asking? Or?
Yeah, Anne Hobbs, I'm saying.
Anne Hobbs, the tennis player, now coaching in America. You are right.
Yeah.
So, Ian, 4-0 in front. Wade's turn.
1, please, David.
Oh.
We'll go for John Whittaker.
John Whittaker. Who else have you got written down?
John Edgar. And then after that, Lester Piggott, Willie Carson. It's not that.
I tell you what, you've just invented one. John Edgar.
Well, what's something Edgar, isn't it? Ted Edgar.
Right, Emma Jane.
Joe Cherry.
Hungarian-born, came over here as a Cossack, now a British international show jumper. So you get 2 back there, and it's Emma Jane's turn.
Number 2, please, David.
Mm-hmm. 10,000 metre run, I think. 5. Any idea? You're a bit like that on athletes, you said.
Yeah, well, more like this.
Tim Hutchins.
No, it's not Tim. Across it goes, and David Martin, of course, does know.
Steve Jones.
Steve Jones. one of our greatest marathon runners ever. Right, Ian's turn, leading 6-2, by the way.
Number 6, please. David, I hope.
For White. White, the Scottish number 8.
No, it's not, no.
Is it when they played that Romanian relief game?
I think it is, Bill.
It's the home unions team. Simon Holliday.
It's Craig Chalmers.
Ah, that is Judah.
The Scottish and Lions fly half.
Scottish.
You accept that?
Yeah.
On we go. Your turn, Bill, to complete the round.
Number 12, please, David. Is it Helen Manlick or Jimmy Connors?
I thought Jimmy Connors straight away.
So the short list is Connors or Manley Cover?
Jimmy Connors.
It is Jimmy Connors.
Yeah.
How did you get Manley Cover out
Well,
of
she
that?
has hair that's sort of like that, straightish hair, doesn't she?
I tell you what, you've had a lot of trouble with the
I got
difference
Emma
between men and women.
week, didn't I? A few weeks ago.
Okay, end of the round. Bill has closed the gap slightly. It's 6-4. Well, now let's find out what the guests know about their own sports and what the captains know about sport in general. Eamon, you start. Your visual question takes you back to the Commonwealth Games last year, where you won the 10,000 metres. But what about the 5,000? 2 of the first 3, please.
It was Andrew Lloyd of Australia winning the gold medal from John Ngugi of Kenya and Ian Hamer of Wales.
Well, Ian Hamer's the bonus. You've got 2 of the first 3, no trouble. John Ngugi, I mean, one of the world's great cross-country runners and Olympic champion as well on the track. Brainless a little bit. I mean, he got knocked over in that, didn't he? He made up the ground too quickly.
Yeah, he seemed to run with like a preset plan. He wanted to hit the front, and when he got knocked over, he seemed to stick with his plan and go right to the front in less than a lap. I'm sure if he'd sort of conserved his energy, he could have come through and actually won the gold.
Well, he ran about 56 or 57 after he was knocked over.
Yeah, I know. That's not the way to run. I mean, you've got to conserve the energy, especially getting knocked over. But he didn't, and he only paid for it on the line, but he paid for it.
Now, he's won the World Cross Country Championship 4 times, but yet you've beaten him twice in recent weeks.
That's right.
Are you at the peak, or is he going back?
Well, he's spent probably the last couple of months in Britain, so I mean, he's not at altitude. Maybe that plays a big part, but I think he'll be going back to altitude to Kenya before the World Championships in March, so we'll have to see.
And you'd fancy yourself in the World Championship a bit, would you?
Yeah, I do. I wish that was next week.
Hope you do it too. Now, across we go to Brian Robson. Brian, your neighbours Manchester City reached the cup final in 1981 and on the way beat Norwich 6-0 in the 4th round. These were 2 of the goals, and they're both a bit special. The scorers, please. Both taken with supreme confidence.
Yeah, they were. Steve McKenzie and Paul Power.
That is right. Good stuff. Actually, Paul's run through the middle absolutely split them, but the casual way he finished.
It was nice skill because when you're running it, you know, when you're sprinting, it's difficult to keep control of a ball, and he kept perfect control there. Yeah, good skill.
Really well done. Right, 2 points for you and across to Wade. Now, Wade, Scotland played some fine rugby on their way to the Grand Slam last season. And here now, 2 of their tries, one against Ireland, the other against Wales. The 2 men who crossed the line, please.
First one was the British Lion and Scottish number 8, Derek White.
I'll buy that.
You'll have that, only. And the second one was an opponent of mine, the Scottish second row, Damien Cronin.
Croydon scored his try against Wales and Cardiff. They won that match 13-9. The other try was scored against Ireland. Scotland won 13-10. Who's the toughest opponent you've had in your position?
It's got to be a fellow called Bob Norster, who, I mean, I have every respect for. He's a tremendous athlete. He's only 6'5". I mean, when you're talking about world-class, when you're talking about world-class second row line-out jumpers, you're talking in the region of like 6'7", 6'8". But Bob is 6'5", and he's a tremendous athlete and a good technician in the line-out. Unfortunately, he had to retire due to injury last season, but he's now coaching the Welsh side.
Well done. On we go. You've got your 2 points there, and we go on to Emma Jane Mack. Now, Emma, the Royal International Horse Show for you. Don't worry about the horses. It's the 2 riders you have to know.
It's a brilliant turn. He got a flower at that one. He's just trying to take that odd half stride out. Look at this.
This is faster.
Here he goes. That's it. 47.79. No, he's not. That could have lost him it. Oof. Whoa. Now he's moving. Look at this.
There's nothing in this.
47.79. It's anybody's. Is he? Yes, he's going to. No.
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has.
Some speed,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
The first one was Robert Smith.
And finished second.
Yeah. And the second one was Michael Whitaker.
You know the horses?
Doesn't
matter.
Michael Whitaker was riding Henderson Red Wings, and Robert Smith was riding Clover.
Bonus
Street
points,
Clover.
surely.
Actually, Michael is some speed rider, isn't he?
He's very, very good, very fast.
Good. You're quick enough to get 2 points there. And on we go to Ian Botham. Now, Ian, captain's questions can go on offer, but I think you got lucky this week.
Phew, I bet.
You've got golf.
Oh.
And 2 players on the green at the famous road hole at St Andrews in the Dunhill Cup last year. Who are they?
David Ferrety, tapping in there, and Mark James, the first one.
You're better at golf than you are at cricket.
I've been telling you that for a long time.
Although Ian Wisdom says you're not better at playing it.
Still the English selectors.
Woozy, and Woozy also failed to tell you, though, that yeah, that's right. But Woozy also failed to tell you that he actually won that tournament under my guidance.
Have you played at 17 at St Andrews?
No, never played St Andrews.
Right, it looks some hole, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely setup.
Yeah. Knowing you'd get the rebound off the wall, wouldn't you?
You'd be aiming for it.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd probably use my brain. Yeah.
We'll leave that alone, shall we? 2 points for Ian. Bill's turn. And it's motor racing for you, Bill. The Portuguese Grand Prix. You'll see the familiar Williams overtaking the blue Onyx in the 1989 race. The drivers, please. Now you're well into motor racing, aren't
Yeah,
you?
Onyx. Stefan Johansson.
That's very good indeed. Actually finished in 3rd place in that race.
89. Well, it's one of the other. Patrese. Riccardo Patrese.
You are spot on. That was a good one, Bill.
That's a good beat there.
He worked that out well, didn't he? Ian 12, Bill 10. Well, mystery guest time now, and Ian's team has someone who's taken a job as a blacksmith and looks quite the part too.
Yeah, I'm going the other guy.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, this one's got him. I don't think it's him. It's not him.
Not who?
David Broom. Well, we had to go once, right? I don't know anyone else. Mr. Edgar.
Edward Edgar. Ted.
Yeah.
No, but he is a good blacksmith.
You give it a miss.
David Broom.
I only know two people. Yeah.
And the blacksmith is David Broom, world show jumping champion, 3 times European champion. What made you sure it wasn't David Broom?
Because Eamon said it wasn't.
So, the scores are level now, and Bill's team's turn. Well, for you three, a truly dedicated follower of fashion.
They seek him here, they seek him there. His clothes are loud, but never square. It will make or break him, so he's got to buy the best, 'cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion. Oh yes he is, oh yes he is, oh yes he is, oh yes he is. Thinks he is a flower to be looked at, and when he pulls his frilly nylon and his raked up tight, he feels a dedicated follower of fashion.
Well, Big Cyril would kill me if I didn't get this one. I think it's John Regis.
John Regis, unanimous?
Yep. Good stuff, Robert.
4 medals in the European Championships. And by the way, John is a dedicated follower of fashion. To the end of the round, and Bill is now in the lead by 2 points. 14 to Ian's 12. Well, there's a choice in round 4, whether to play at home or away. Eamon Martin has to make that first choice.
Home then, David.
The Briton who won the 1986 European 5,000 metres title was?
Jack Button.
That's correct. Brian, home or away?
Home, please.
Who's the only current English international who's played in a European club final within the last 3 years?
I'm just trying to think if there's anybody else. There's nobody else. But Chris Waddle, no. Schultz, no.
Yeah,
Chris Waddle. Let's go Gary Lineker.
You were right on that from the start, weren't you? He played for Barcelona in the 89 European Cup Winners' Cup against Sampdoria, the Italian side. Barcelona won by 2-0, and that's worth a point. Home or away, Wade?
Home, please, David.
Who in 1988 won an international cap for England despite being on the field of play for only 3 seconds?
I'll go for England against Fiji, Dave Edgerton.
You're dead right. Yes, you're absolutely right. Gary Rees was forced to retire just before the final whistle. England won 25 points to 12. And Wade, actually, for that, he does get a full cap, doesn't he?
That's right. Yeah. The story behind that was that Dave was on the touchline. We'd asked the referee just how much time was left, and he said, like, he told us a minute. And Dave was there, so like warming up and so, like stretching off and making sure that he was warm. And we were trying to get him on the park to get his cap. So we actually got him on the park with 3 seconds to go. Blew the whistle and he got his cap. Didn't even touch the ball. Walked straight up. So.
I've known plenty that played 80 minutes and never touched it.
You want to talk about them, Bill?
Yeah, me. Me in the line-out.
15 to Bill, 14 to Ian. Emma Jane, home or away?
Home, please, David.
The only rider to win 3 Hickstead derbies in succession in the 80s is?
Nick Skelton.
That is right. 87 on Raffles, Apollo in 88, and again the following year, Apollo. Ian, home or away?
Home, please.
The last father and son to play for England are? The last father and son to play for England.
Stewart. Alex Stewart's playing there as well, man. I would have thought on this current tour, Alex Stewart and Mickey Stewart.
You think? Absolutely right. 1 point the difference, and Bill's turn. Home or away, Bill?
Home, please, Dave.
Who captained the All Blacks to their win in the 1987 World Cup final?
In the final?
Yep.
David Kirk.
Gets you the 1 point you wanted. There we are, end of the round. 17 to Bill, 15 to Ian. Well, now for what happened next. And for Ian's team, horse racing. A novice chase at Down Royal. The leaders are approaching the last. What happened next?
Right, sir. To be sure. To be sure. Right, look like there's a big perimeter fence on the right-hand side of the picture.
As we look in.
Television picture, right, yeah. Right, so you got the fence there, and then there was the actual fence they were coming to jump, and the stray horse was on the inside. And it looked as if the possibility if that stray horse was pushing the other two horses into the perimeter fence and caused them problems there, and it might have carried, the one that didn't have a jockey might have jumped the fence but pushed the other two into the perimeter fence.
And I noticed you were completely agreed about that, weren't you?
Yeah.
And completely wrong.
So what's new?
We reckon that the loose horse pushed the other two out, and as they were coming up to the last fence, they couldn't get round that loose horse to jump the fence, and so they just went alongside the fence, and so they're both out of the race because they took the wrong course.
This is what happened next. It veers away the loose horse to run out and takes the leader with it. The other one jumps it and goes on to win, ridden by Connor O'Dwyer. The distracted horse is Carvard, ridden by Ken Morgan, who must be really fed up
But he
there.
was really happy with that.
Oh,
one,
yes.
yeah.
17-15 to Bill, and for Bill's team, baseball. And it's the New York Mets against San Francisco Giants. What happened next? I once saw Ian in a baseball uniform. I don't know whether he actually played.
Down at the Oval, wasn't he?
Yes, I did. Los Angeles Dodgers.
Did they sign you up?
They offered me a contract, and like an idiot, I said no. I got more playing there, fifth 11.
That's where you would have been.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. I'm not proud.
What do you think? The ball got stuck in his glove, or when he went to pick it out? Well, first of all, the ball gets stuck in the glove, right? And he can't get the ball out of the glove to throw out the man.
So what happens?
He ends up throwing the glove. He ends up throwing the glove.
The pitcher is Mulholland of San Francisco. The ball indeed gets stuck in the glove. He doesn't know what to do. It's stuck there, but he does go out and run the man out. You're quite right. End of the round, Bill 19, Ian muttering stupid 15. Well, round 6 can make all the difference. 9 points to be won. And Ian's team goes first. So Ian, Eamon, Wade, relaxed and ready?
Fine, David.
Start the watch. Athletics. The reigning European champion at 5 and 10,000 metres is?
Salvatore Antibio.
Golf. The last course to stage the Open for the first time in its history was?
Go on.
Name these teams.
Oldham.
Yeah, good.
West Ham.
No.
Burnley.
No.
Scunthorpe.
Aston
Villa.
Aston Villa. Who partnered Joe Jury to the Wimbledon mixed doubles title?
John Lloyd.
No.
Bates.
Yes. Rugby union. The current holders of the Pilkington Cup are?
Bath.
The year is 84. Name the winners.
84. Ballesteros.
Yes.
Soccer FA Cup.
Teams.
Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen.
English FA Cup. Try that.
Soccer FA Cup, sorry.
Liverpool,
Everton.
Everton.
Tennis singles, men's singles. Becker, Connors.
How about McEnroe?
McEnroe?
Yes, he just missed it. The last course to stage the Open for the first time in its history was Turnberry in 1977. First time they'd ever staged it. We move on to Bill, Brian and Emma. Happy?
Yep.
The clock's waiting and starts now. Soccer. England's captain during the 82 World Cup finals was?
Mick Mills.
Horse racing. The only jockey to win 2 English classics last year was?
Cawthon.
Ellery.
Carson.
Yes. 2 boxers to name.
Roddy McGuigan.
Yep.
And carry on.
The reigning World Cup holders in golf are?
Ireland.
No.
Canada, America, USA,
Japan.
Australia. Carry on.
Show jumping.
Sweden.
The woman who won the world title in 86 was?
Gal Greenough.
Of Canada.
Scotland.
The year is 81. Name the winners. No, Scotland's wrong.
NatWest 81.
Liverpool, Nottingham Forest.
Derbyshire. Derbyshire
Yes,
81.
NatWest, Derbyshire.
Soccer League
Nottingham
Championship.
Forest, Liverpool.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, yes.
Aston Villa, yeah.
Masters, Curtis Strange.
Middlesex.
Ray Floyd.
Don't forget the golf, the reigning World Cup holders.
Worcester.
We've got Derbyshire.
Lancashire.
No, you've got that, Derbyshire.
Derbyshire.
You're out of time,
Right.
actually. The one you were missing there was US Masters, Tom Watson. Okay? Golf, the reigning World Cup holders, to everyone's surprise,
That was an outsider, wasn't it?
Germany. Mary McGuigan you got. Eusebio Pedrosa, who was the defending champion. You didn't. And you lead by 3 points, 25 to 22. Well, it's close enough now for the numbers game to make a difference. 6 left. Eamon Martin starts.
Number 3, please, David.
Well, I don't know. I'd have a shot.
Have a guess.
Coin?
Coin, yeah.
Of Celtic.
Yeah.
No.
Mick McCarthy.
Mick McCarthy, that's right. Republic of Ireland captain. Plays for Millwall. Been here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I don't see it now.
Brian.
Number 8, please. Mike Teague.
The England back row forward. Player of the year in the Test Series in Australia in '89 at 2 points. Wade Dooley.
Number 10, please, David.
Gordon Bennett. We are picking him. Tony Ives.
Tony Ives.
Why?
Because he says so.
I was best man at his wedding.
Because Ian said so.
I don't know, I'm useless on horses.
Emma, Jane, are you into horse racing?
I thought I was.
Is that Mr. Frisk?
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he rode Mr. Fish. Armitage. Martin Armitage.
It's Marcus Armitage, but Armitage will do, and especially seeing he got the horse as well. So I think you deserve your 2 points there.
Well done, Robbo.
Right, 3 left. Emma Jane.
Number 11, please, David.
We could get quite a flash of you. Oh. Got it.
Come on, boys.
Looks like Mark James. Mark James.
Mark James.
The Ryder Cup player. He's appearing all over this programme.
Can't get him off it, can we?
You get 2 points for that. Now, Ian, difficult choice.
Vital, it's crucial to my whole year. Number 5. Good centre half I was. Rob, I'll tell you. Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, Kay Morley.
Kay Morley, the Commonwealth Hurdles champion, is quite right. And Bill completes the match with number 4.
Thank you. McEnroe. Looks like John McEnroe, I don't think, is it? No. John McEnroe.
No. Robbo should have known this. Come on, try one.
Oh. Who do you want? Mr. Edgar.
That is surrender, isn't it? It's Franz Beckenbauer, the West German footballer.
Looks a bit like
ex-manager and ex-captain. So there we are, the end of the match. Bill wins this time 33 to 24. And the score at the moment, Ian 7, Bill 6. See you next week, BBC One, same time. Till then, goodbye.
Sports Night tomorrow has FA Cup action. Highlights and results of the 5th round replays as the battle to reach the last 8 continues. And from the Guildhall in Preston, there's World Indoor Bowls, coverage of the quarter-finals in the singles competition. End-to-end action in Sports Night tomorrow at the new time of 10:05 on BBC One.
The mystery that's been plaguing the inhabitants of Twin Peaks and the viewers of BBC Two, who killed Laura Palmer, is about to be resolved. Here on One in half an hour, another investigation awaits our Geordie detective, Spender. First on BBC One, the 9 o'clock news with Martin Lewis.
The United States and Britain say the Soviet plan to end the Gulf War falls short of requirements. President Bush says the goals have been set out, there will be no concessions. The Iraqi foreign minister says he is serious in seeking negotiations on withdrawing from Kuwait. And the Allied ground forces are reported at their highest state of readiness for a land offensive. Good evening. President Bush said today that the Gorbachev peace plan being considered by Iraq falls well short of what would be required, a view shared by the Prime Minister John Major. Neither would say precisely how it falls short because both are respecting the Soviet request to keep the details confidential. But Soviet and Iranian spokesmen said they believed Iraq, whose foreign minister is due back in Moscow to deliver his country's reply, was closer than ever to withdrawing unconditionally from Kuwait. The UN Secretary General, after being shown the Soviet plan, said he was hopeful. And tonight the Security Council is meeting in special session amid fears of a growing diplomatic rift over the Gulf War.
Briefing congressional leaders on the next moves in the war, including preparations for the ground campaign, President Bush was not rude about the Gorbachev plan as he was last week on Baghdad's offer, but the effect was the same: no deal.
Very candidly, and I've been frank with him on this, while expressing appreciation for his sending it to us, it falls well short of what would be required. And I would leave it right there for now.
He said he would keep the details confidential while thoroughly exploring Gorbachev's initiative. Not absolute rejection, not far from it.
As far as I'm concerned, there are no negotiations. The goals have been set out. There will be no concessions. Not going to give.
After the meeting, some leading congressmen implied the Soviet initiative was a poisoned diplomatic chalice, leaving Saddam in power against Bush's unspoken war aims.
I don't think he's dismissing it. I think he's being very cautious. He doesn't want negotiations to stall it. It would be, in my mind, disastrous if we were to pause right now and let Saddam Hussein rehabilitate himself.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, what supportive congressmen called the dynamic duo of Defense Secretary Cheney and General Powell spelled out why any diplomatically convenient ceasefire might be militarily damaging.
We're concerned that a ceasefire of some kind might create a situation in which he would be able to resupply his forces, move new munitions down to units that are without munitions at present, perhaps reinvigorate his Air Force, take other steps that ultimately would result in significantly higher casualties than might otherwise be the case.
There's a feeling here that Gorbachev is not merely a peacemaker, but also trying to carve out a new role for the Soviet Union in the Gulf after the war is over. In any event, the peace plans have opened up an apparent difference between what the United States is authorized to do, expel Iraq from Kuwait, and what it would like to do, expel Saddam Hussein from power. Gavin Esler, BBC News, at the White House.
The Soviet Foreign Minister, Alexander Besmaetnik, said it was not up to President Bush to respond to the Soviet peace proposals. It was a peace plan for Saddam Hussein, not for the Americans. The United Nations Security Council is tonight due to discuss America's rejection of the plan. Iraq's Foreign Minister, Tariq Aziz, is expected to return to Moscow soon with Saddam Hussein's response.
Tariq Aziz broke his journey back to Baghdad to talk to Iran's President Rafsanjani. Publicly, he gave no details of what was in the Soviet peace plan. He would say only that Iraq was serious about negotiating a withdrawal from Kuwait. But that still falls short of the unconditional retreat demanded by the Allies. But the Iranian foreign minister, now in Germany, says Iraq is willing to pull out of Kuwait unconditionally. He said this was his belief based on earlier conversations with Tariq Aziz.
I can tell you that now they are ready to withdraw from Kuwait unconditionally. I mean, on the basis of the Resolution 660.
The Soviet foreign minister told his parliament today that the basis of the plan was restoration of Kuwait's sovereignty. But he also talked of maintaining the territorial integrity of Iraq. He said later that America's response wasn't a complete rejection, and anyway, it wasn't for President Bush to reject a plan put to Iraq. But Yevgeny Primakov, the Soviet envoy who brought Iraq to the negotiating table, complained to Soviet television that those who wanted to attack the regime of Saddam Hussein were trying to force the situation by starting a land war. In Britain, the War Cabinet heard the results of a night of intensive consultations with Washington and decided that the Soviet plan did not meet the full requirements of the UN resolutions. But no one's explaining just how far short it falls of being satisfactory. In the Commons, the Prime Minister said he would respect the confidentiality of the Soviet proposals, but sounded unenthusiastic about them.
Nothing has yet happened which would incline us to agree to a ceasefire or pause in the conflict. If Saddam Hussein wants to avoid a land battle, he knows what he must do. He has to withdraw unconditionally and immediately from Kuwait and implement the Security Council resolutions in full.
Tonight in New York, the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council arrived for a private meeting to consider the danger to the international alliance. The Soviet representative asked for the meeting to repair the sudden rift that was opening up with the United States.
Iraq now says more than 20,000 people have been killed in Allied attacks. That's considerably higher than previous estimates. The Deputy Prime Minister, Sadoun Hamadi, quoted in an Iranian newspaper, said a further 60,000 people had been wounded. Last night, Allied planes resumed large-scale bombing of Baghdad for the first time in 6 days. The Iraqi authorities censored part of this report from Jeremy Bowen.
We weren't allowed to go to the source of this smoke. It rose into the sky above Baghdad all day. We can only assume that it came from fires at military or industrial sites. There were raids again this morning. Last night they'd started just before midnight and continued for almost 5 hours. Up to 20 huge explosions shook central Baghdad. The engines of approaching cruise missiles and Allied bombers could be heard clearly before each attack. These pictures were taken from the Rashid Hotel, where Western journalists are staying. The hotel was rocked by a number of explosions. I could feel the hot surge of air from the blast coming in through the window of my room. Today, this was the only damage the Iraqis would show us. It's the remains of the telecommunications building in central Baghdad. It's been attacked many times since the war started, and it was hit again last night. The walls have been sucked in by the explosions that have torn through the building. A row of shops next to it has also been destroyed by blast and by falling rubble. The timing of last night's attacks was significant. Since the raid started just after Tariq Aziz, the Iraqi foreign minister, left Moscow with the Soviet peace proposals, people here have concluded that they had a political as well as a military purpose. The intention may have been to show the Iraqis that unless they accept peace on Allied terms, they can expect a much more ferocious assault, by air in Baghdad and on land in Kuwait. After the bombing stopped this morning, a relief convoy arrived from Jordan. The Iraqi Red Crescent has appealed for more medicine and food. Today's shipment was unloaded rapidly. Some residents of Baghdad spent the morning queuing for fuel. The bombing has knocked out the city's electrical system. Most people have very little power for cooking and heating. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, Baghdad.
Iraq fired another Scud missile at Israel tonight. 2 Patriot missiles were launched to intercept the Scud. There were no reports of any casualties. Well, I'm joined now by our Foreign Affairs correspondent, Brian Hanrahan. Brian, has President Bush irrevocably slammed the door on the Gorbachev initiative?
Well, a lot of people are saying he hasn't. They're saying that there's a marked difference in tone between what Mr. Bush is saying today and what he said last Friday when Iraq made its first statement on Baghdad radio. There appears to be a grey area in here, something that might be negotiated, something between what Iraq and America both want and what at the moment is being promised. And they've somehow got to try and find a way of bridging that, if it can be done. The question is, can it be done? It turns on what's in the UN resolutions, what's in the plan. We don't know what's in the plan.
But can President Bush allow any solution which would allow Saddam Hussein to remain in power with at least half his military machine intact?
Well, he's coming under a lot of pressure internally to virtually declare his hand that he wants Saddam Hussein out of power as part of what it's about. But that would be a very dangerous step to take. It would be a big step forward from what he's said so far, which would be to, with the UN resolutions almost achieved, to suddenly say, well, I'm going to go further, I'm going to start a land war, I'm going to take all the casualties because I want this one extra thing, however important that might be, and suffer the consequences of it. If you think how far he's taken this coalition, the extraordinary things he's done with it from last August when all of this was unimaginable it would have got to this stage, I'd be surprised if he's willing to risk it all now at this very last hurdle.
But to what extent does it look as though he is gambling with Soviet-American relations?
I think you could turn that question round. You could ask how much is Mr. Gorbachev gambling with Soviet-American relations by embarking on this peace plan which the Americans find unacceptable. There's obviously a danger there. Both of them are aware of it. The New World Order, all the post-war planning, could be jeopardized if things come unstuck now. I suppose the question in a game of bluff, which this effectively has to be seen as, is who's going to lose the most, America or the Soviet Union? I think if you put it in those terms, it's the Soviet Union that has more to lose from a rift with America than the other way around.
Brian, thanks very much. On the Saudi desert's northern front, the Royal Artillery has been bombarding Iraqi positions for the second day running. The British say they severely damaged 4 Iraqi artillery batteries. Kate Adie reports now from the front line.
The desert resounds to British guns. The venerable 8-inch howitzers of the Royal Artillery in action, with the Allies delivering round after round all along the front line. A noisy background to talk of negotiations, a reminder that there has been no let-up in the military pressure on Saddam Hussein. For weeks, the Allies have been dropping bombs and firing rockets at the Iraqi front lines. Now the artillery has joined in, British guns firing. Another stage in the war and another pounding for the Iraqis. The gun detachments have an air of tradition, teamwork and discipline needed for loading the 208-pound shells. Working in the open, sweating under body armour and chemical protection clothing. Guns 5 and 6 of 7.6 Battery, the Battle Axe Company, under the eye of their section commander from County Durham.
He's one of the oldest guns artillery's got, but their performance, I think you just can't beat him anyway. We achieve what we have to achieve.
What about the lads?
Well, the lads, as you can see for yourself, morale, I mean, now they know they're firing and they're hitting targets at their end, which we are, morale is just 100% better than what it was when we first arrived here.
For the young gunners, a first ever taste of action, and the first time that the Royal Artillery has fired the howitzers and the MLRS rocket operationally. Their brigadier believes that artillery would play a big part in any ground battle, conscious of the damage these guns inflict.
Well, if you look at these guns here and imagine 200-pound shells landing in the middle of this gun position, they would do a considerable amount of damage. I hope that is the damage that we're doing to the Iraqi artillery.
Having packed up everything in a trice, they headed off without having heard any reply to their guns today from the Iraqis. This is Kate Adie with 1st Armoured Division for the British Television News Pool in northern Saudi Arabia.
American troops in Apache attack helicopters have carried out 2 raids behind enemy lines, destroying tanks and gun positions and taking dozens of Iraqi prisoners. At least one of the raids was 50 miles inside Iraq. Military commanders say raids are continuing across the border in final preparation for an Allied land assault.
On the front line in Saudi Arabia, American army units practice sowing confusion on the battlefield as their commanders do all they can to keep their real strategy for the recapture of Kuwait as obscure as possible. Deception is one guiding principle of warfare. Sheer aggression is another. British units have joined the rocket barrages of Iraqi positions for 2 days now. The military call it softening up. Others might call it preparing to invade, because the main target is Iraq's worst threat, its artillery.
I think you'll see these artillery raids of ours going on now with a specific objective of reducing what is probably their prime weapon, the one they will use most against us, given the chance, in a land campaign.
The action of Allied artillery batteries is attracting most attention, but in front of them reconnaissance teams are probing unfilmed not just along the border, but across it as well, setting foot in Iraq and Kuwait. They're gathering intelligence on the huge belt of obstacles Iraq has built. It begins with a sand embankment or berm up to 4 meters high, which is designed to force Allied tanks to rise up and expose their vulnerable bellies to missile fire. Then there's a trench up to 7 meters deep and 20 across. It's filled with barrels of oil ready to be ignited to generate a wall of fire and slow the Allied advance. Beyond that, there's a belt of barbed wire, again a delaying tactic. Then minefields have been laid, some of them hundreds of meters wide. For months, Allied engineers have been practicing to break away through all this. The giant Viper rocket system to clear away the mines, or at least most of them. Combat bulldozers to breach the sand walls. Already they're demolishing one that marks the Saudi-Kuwaiti border. The pressure on the Iraqi lines is increasing by the day, and the American military said today it all fits into their strategy.
I think what we do is we look at the entire battlefield, and in our plans to try and shape that battlefield for any eventuality, then in fact we determine which targets are of a higher priority than others. Tanks being attacked today may not have that same priority tomorrow. Maybe artillery does. So, you know, it's really a moving, dynamic type event.
Most dynamic are the combined air and artillery raids, launched for at least the last week and again today. Planes and guns operating together to cause the greatest devastation. One way to make this work is for scouts to use lasers to calculate the positions of Iraqi units and relay the coordinates back to commanders to work out the most effective response. Often that's artillery fire, directed by computers, onto the target, and fighter bombers as well. Their approach planned to avoid the line of artillery, but to attack at roughly the same time. That coordination of firepower, which Allied commanders believe will give them the edge, is now being applied against the Iraqi army, a deliberate display of military prowess as the Allied armies move forward, a strategy to intimidate the Iraqi rank and file and confuse its leadership, in the hope that a ground war, if it comes, will be over quickly.
The first pictures of Iraqi warplanes which flew across the border to Iran have been released. The pictures of 3 Iraqi planes were shot by a Japanese television crew at Hamadan in western Iran. The aircraft have been identified as Soviet-made Sukhoi bombers. The Kuwaiti Foreign Minister, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed, has said his government will refuse to negotiate with Iraq even after its forces leave Kuwait. His statement, reversing previous Kuwaiti policy, was made to a newspaper in the United Arab Emirates. Here, MPs have been hearing first-hand accounts of the atrocities carried out by Iraqi soldiers in Kuwait. They were told that murder and torture had increased dramatically since the start of the Allied bombing.
Another group of Kuwaiti volunteers have been sent from London by their ambassador here to help as interpreters with the British forces. After the Kuwaiti foreign minister today said there should be no negotiations with Iraq, the ambassador said Saddam Hussein should not be allowed off the hook.
He will ask for ceasefire, and that is not acceptable at all. It means peace, but it won't really fulfill the resolutions at all of United Nations. So peace at any price is not always the right thing.
Kuwaiti exiles in London say conditions are worse since the air bombardment started.
We've heard that women are killed, but they show that their breasts have been cut with knives prior to their killing. Children, they missing fingernails, eyes have been plucked out and then shot. Mutilated bodies beyond recognition. Rape, girls and women disappear for so many days, and when they come back, they just can't recognize them. They're in a state of shock, they don't talk.
The brutality of the Iraqi occupation of Kuwait was detailed in a special meeting of the all-party Parliamentary Human Rights Group, which heard one claim that 7,000 Kuwaitis have died and 17,000 are missing.
The United States has accused Iraq of deliberately damaging a mosque to make it look like bomb damage. Photographic evidence for this was presented at a Pentagon briefing a short time ago. From Washington, Mike Smart.
The Pentagon showed plans of the mosque in Basra the Iraqis claimed was destroyed by Allied bombing.
there was indeed a crater nearby. The Pentagon showed satellite photographs proving that the mosque was indeed destroyed, but not, insisted the Navy intelligence officer, by the Allies. It had been demolished by the Iraqis.
The intent here was to show a religious facility and to claim collateral damage when we in fact know for absolute certain that it was not inflicted by coalition air.
It was, said the Pentagon, an attempt by Iraq to win points in the propaganda war, an attempt the Allied briefers clearly felt they had successfully demolished. Mike Smart, BBC News, Washington.
Here, the government has confirmed that members of the armed forces won't have to pay poll tax while they're serving in the Gulf. The Environment Secretary, Michael Heseltine, told MPs that the government would pay compensation to councils in areas with large numbers of surface personnel. But, pressed to give details of his wider review of the poll tax, Mr. Heseltine said it was unrealistic to expect ministers to have reached conclusions yet.
Michael Heseltine's review of the poll tax is the most politically sensitive task the government faces. He believes the whole nightmare of collection, protests and refusal to pay resulted from Margaret Thatcher's most serious mistake. But the Cabinet Committee quickly discovered there is no easy alternative. The favourite of many Tories, to pay for education centrally, is rejected by Kenneth Clarke, the Education Secretary. He told The Guardian, the idea that you get rid of the community charge by putting sixpence in income tax has no attraction whatever. Because the poll tax has alienated many working-class Tory supporters, the strongest option ministers are considering is a property tax, not unlike the old rates, except that it would be related to the number of people living in a house. But the Prime Minister was giving nothing away.
I will make the position entirely clear on the matter under review when we have finished the review.
Mr. Speaker, why doesn't the Prime Minister save a great deal of time and the country a huge amount of money by abolishing the poll tax and accepting the Labour Party proposals for a modern system of fair rates?
Brian Gould called the government's ideas twin tax torture.
It is a head tax and a floor tax rolled into one. A catch-you-at-both-ends tax. A top-to-toe tax. It counts the numbers of bedrooms you have in your house and then adds in the number of people who eat breakfast in your house. A bed and breakfast tax.
But the government's determined to avoid another rushed scheme.
That I hope that perhaps by April I shall be able to narrow the focus of attention.
His deputy revealed that one poll tax principle will survive.
And I do say that the Labour Party is in great peril if they give up the principle that everyone should make a contribution to the cost of local government, because that is very widely accepted.
Ministers know they have to be ready to tell voters in the May council elections and in the general election, whenever that comes, that radical change is on the way. But whatever happens, they believe it would take 2 years to replace the poll tax.
The man who died in yesterday's IRA bomb attack at London's Victoria Station has been named as David Corner, aged 36, a civil servant from South London. His widow said today she forgave his killers. Tonight, British Transport Police disclosed that a surveillance camera at the station was not recording until after the bomb went off.
Do you think he would?
Speaking just a day after an IRA bomb killed her husband, Jane Corner told a news conference she was shattered by the tragedy, but she forgave those who'd carried out the attack.
I don't really feel very much about the people. I feel more sad that he's gone. I don't feel any hatred or... I mean, I would like them to be caught.
She said her husband's life had been devoted to helping people, both in his job and through the local church. 17 of the most seriously injured are still being treated at Westminster Hospital. One is in a critical condition. The youngest victim, 12-year-old Hugh Carling, was hit by shrapnel.
I just remember hearing a very loud explosion and just turning around and seeing bodies lying on the floor. And there's some smoke coming, and I just remember, saying to my father, it's been a bomb, let's get out of there.
In a statement, the IRA has blamed the casualties on police for failing to evacuate Victoria Station. Scotland Yard has responded by saying that for the IRA to blame the police for their own outrages is particularly galling and almost beggars belief. Police have continued their investigations at Victoria. Those using the station have been quizzed for any information that might prove vital. Tonight, Transport Police revealed that the station's video cameras were not recording at the time of the explosion. Detectives had hoped the cameras might help identify the terrorists. More bomb scares briefly closed several mainline stations earlier today after suspect packages were reported by anxious commuters. But the police say the public must continue to remain vigilant.
Thousands of people were trapped on the London Underground this morning after a fire on a train. 20 people were taken to hospital suffering from shock and breathing smoke. Some passengers were trapped for more than 5 hours. Up to 600 jobs are to be cut at Harrods because of a continued fall in sales. The London store said most of the losses would be among administrative staff and would reduce the current workforce by 10%. The leader of the Russian Federation, Boris Yeltsin, has called for the immediate resignation of President Gorbachev. He accused the president of leading the country into dictatorship and said power should be transferred to the Federation Council, made up of leaders of the republics.
In a television interview, Russian President Boris Yeltsin today called for President Gorbachev's resignation.
I
warned in 1987 that Gorbachev sought the acquisition of personal power. He has now achieved this and led the country to dictatorship. I turn my back on his policies, demand his immediate resignation and the transfer of power to the Council of Federation.
His long-awaited appearance had been delayed as the newly appointed chairman of official Soviet television refused to let him appear live or on a national program. But Mr. Yeltsin won both arguments to deliver his most savage condemnation yet in a long-running confrontation with Mr. Gorbachev. Mr. Yeltsin was also deeply critical of the steep price rises announced in the Supreme Soviet yesterday. All prices are to rise by 60% shortly, further squeezing people who've already lost most of their savings in the recent withdrawal of large ruble notes. He was again fierce in his criticism of the use of the army to cause what he called bloodshed for political purposes, and suggested that each republic might need to defend itself with its own national guard if attacked. He said all President Gorbachev's policies had failed, and he ended with a challenge. I have made my choice. I cannot move from it. I need the support of the Russian people, and I believe I will get it. Polly Toynbee, BBC News, Moscow.
And the main news again. The United States and Britain say the Soviet plan to end the Gulf War falls short of what is required. But government ministers in the Soviet Union and Iran believe Saddam Hussein is closer than ever to ordering the unconditional withdrawal of his troops from Kuwait. I'll be back with a late bulletin at midnight on this channel. Newsnight is on BBC 2 at 10:30, of course, but that is the 9 o'clock news tonight. Good night.
Now on BBC One, the evening headlines from the newsroom of South Today.
Good evening. In the Commons today, the government said troops serving in the Gulf should not have to pay their poll tax. Local authorities which faced heavy losses will now be entitled to compensation. The junior Environment Minister, Robert Key, the MP for Salisbury, said the government would introduce legislation to ensure people in the Gulf would be exempt from the charge. Gosport Borough Council in Hampshire has been campaigning for the change. However, its leader, Peter Chegwin, says it doesn't go far enough.
It's generally good news, but frankly Mr Heseltine does seem to have imposed more conditions on the settlement than even Saddam Hussein would have done. And that does mean that some local councils will still lose out, and some servicemen will still have to pay the poll tax.
Yeah, I think this is where the Bears have to start mixing up some. We look at today, they have on first down last week, they ran 21, passed 6. Today, they have run 7 times and only passed 1. That's where I think they have to get some of their mixture in.
2nd and 7 at the Giant 24. Giants leading 10-0. Thornton moves over to the right side. Zach fake to Anderson. Pass caught by Thornton. At about the 6, a pickup of 18 yards. Myron Guyton was a Giant defender.
Mike Ditka told us last night Thornton had to have a big game. He said because the Giants like to just leave a linebacker on the tight end a lot. Here it's a safety on him, but Thornton still beats him. Good throw by Tomczak. He threw it. If anyone was going to catch it, the only guy that could catch it was Thornton.
First and goal. The ball's at the 6. Muster and Anderson behind Tomczak. Neil Anderson for a couple. Stopped by Eric Howard again.
I tell you see Greg Jackson, the safety, up there too. The Giant defense is really ganging up on that first down run. And the way to help that, of course, is you got the 4 linemen, you have your 3 linebackers, and then you get your safety up there. But you see all those guys up in there, everyone is up in there to stop the run. You see 47, boom, he's just hitting it right now. They don't look like they're worrying about passing down there.
Second and goal at the 4. Anderson split wide left this time. Muster the lone back. Tomczak intended for Muster, who was open, but over his head. The Bears have only gotten 12 yards and 10 rushes.
Yeah, you're right. I think at first he was looking for Neil Anderson, who was split out all the way to the left, like you said. And then Pepper Johnson gets in his face, and he has to come back, and he dumps it off to Muster. But watch Pepper Johnson, 52 there. See, he makes him throw a bad one there. Because had he thrown it shorter or seen Muster, that would have been a touchdown.
Ex-Ohio State teammates, Tomczak and Pepper Johnson. Third and goal at the 4. Ditka looked on. Tomczak to Muster. Close, but not quite.
Now this is going to be really interesting for Mike Ditka. Half the Bear players are out on the sideline. What do you do now? You're down 10-0. You're in the playoffs. I think you have to kick the field goal.
I think so too.
I think you have to get on the board. That doesn't mean that that's what he's going to think, though.
Fourth and goal at the 1, and it really is a little bit closer than that. 4th down, and they're headed for it.
This could be the whole game here, Pat. I think if the Bears don't make it here, it could be a long day for them. If they do, we got a heck of a ball game.
Anderson and Muster behind Tomczak. Coley and Wilson, they all make it. John Washington was the first man to hit him. Muster the ball carrier, and he just got stuffed. That's one they'll think about for a while.
So the Bears take a chance and come up empty. But on their next drive, they did manage to kick this 33-yarder. So Kevin Butler puts them on the board. We rejoin the game with the Giants in a crucial 4th down situation deep in Chicago's territory. It's late in the first half.
A fake to Anderson. Hostetler on the rollout with room. First down. Hostetler down to about the 23. Pickup of 10. He gives you an added dimension, doesn't he?
I'll tell you, he does, and that's the second time on 4th down that the Giants have gone for it. Both times they put it in Hostetler's hands. This time he has an option, run or pass. He just runs all the way because he knows he has the first down. The other time, or the first time, he ran on a sprint out, and he hit Bob Morosco, with a first down.
Giants haven't thrown a pass this quarter. They've been able to move it on the ground. Anderson inside the 20. Stopped, tripped up by Hampton. A gain of 3.
Matt Barr's down there clapping. He's clapping for a touchdown because I saw him try and kick a field goal into this wind, and he was kicking rocks in the pregame.
Everything just dies when it gets down to the goal line. Flag on the play right at the line of scrimmage. Pass was incomplete, intended for Baker.
Offside, defense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down, 2nd down.
We'll see a few guys jump. It looks like the 2 guys in the middle, the The one they called it on was 72 of the fridge, because once he gets started, it's hard to get that stuff stopped and brought back.
2nd and 3. Meggett is the back this time. And the handoff is to Meggett. Inside the 5. Gale and Carrier made the stop. Meggett got 11 and a giant first down.
Big play by Dave Meggett, happiest guy. The kicker, Matt Barr, again. He knows, okay, now we're in here. Maybe I could make it from back there. I hope we don't have to kick it. But after Dave Meggett makes this run, I know I can kick it from there. And you see Meggett, one thing he is not going to do is fumble.
Hostetler. Touchdown to Howard Cross, but a flag on the play.
Holding.
5 yards out.
Defense.
Holding on the defense. It is a touchdown.
Well, they did exactly what we were talking about. The first 2 times they rolled out to the right. That time Hostetler went to the left.
And the only pass in that entire drive got him a touchdown.
Watch him. He's going to fake the run to the right. Then he's going to come out on a bootleg to his left and find Howard Cross, number 87, in the end zone.
So a happy Giants team, a happy Lawrence Taylor, and a lot of happy fans. Half-time score 17-3, but for me the biggest play of the half was the Chicago Bears' 4th down effort trying to go for the touchdown. What did you think of that?
Well, I agree with you. It definitely was. Goal line stands always characteristically change the complexion of a game. They're going to try and push the ball right straight against the Giants' defense, which is the strength of it. They go right into the middle of the defense. Here's where you count on your running back to really have some eyes, because you can see out here on the edge they've got some good blocks, and if this back would have bounced the ball outside, he probably would have walked in, but he's got to have the speed to get out there, and obviously Mustard didn't feel like he had the speed to get around the corner.
You're 1 yard out. Those big old linemen are a couple of yards away from you. Do you have time to look around and see that?
Well, for me, having done it in the past, I guess I'd had been in his shoes to be able to make that judgment, but I've always felt like, yes, you do have time. I don't know how far he was into the hole when they gave him the ball.
All right, well, I think I might have kicked it, field goal, but I'm not Mike Ditka. Now it's time for a commercial. When we come back, you'll have your last chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 25, so don't go away.
Two? 2.5 litre?
This is quite the sweetest engine to be found in any small car. All but inaudible, very quiet indeed.
Don't even think about buying another small car until you've listened to the new Metro.
I bet he drinks Carling Black Label.
A ride that's free from harshness and fun.
Very smooth. French, I'd say.
Suspension justifies torque of a big car ride. Absorbs road irregularities more like a large car.
Don't even think about buying another small car until you've been for a ride in the new Metro.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're hoping to be joining us in Tampa, you'd better have your pen and paper at the ready, as it's time for the final look at our Super Bowl competition. Following the enormous amount of entries, Together with our 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, we're now offering a second prize of an autographed football and the Silver Anniversary Super Bowl 25 book. There are also 5 pairs of tickets to Cheerleader Super Bowl Party in London and 12 free memberships to the NFL's official fan club, Friends of NFL. All you have to do is pick your best 5 from the following top 10 touchdowns.
Hill in motion, pitch back. He wants to throw the pass. Anderson can't throw. Can't run. 5. Touchdown. Miller in traffic. Sean Collins. What a play!
He just goes up high, takes the ball right off the defensive back's back.
Jones and Broussard in the sunrise. Broussard, he's got 5, 10. He's got a touchdown.
Here comes Smith. There's Cunningham. Dodges left and puts it way downfield for Fred Barnett, who has the catch. And the race is on. There are no flags. A 95-yard touchdown.
Buffalo ahead of Miami in the East, and now the Raiders, can they stay with Kansas City, and can Denver stay with Bo Jackson? The answer is no. Bo has another. Across the 20, 25, 30, back to the middle of the 35, 40. Metcalf might be gone. Metcalf to the 40 of the Oilers. Eric Metcalf is gone for a touchdown. And that is a Metcalf special.
Herschel on the toss. Flea flicker to Cannon. Beautifully covered by Lee. Mark Lee's going to make a play on it right here, but Carter, the ball never hits the ground. It hits his hip. What a sensational catch. That's a touchdown, folks.
Second down and 8 as Pete hands it off to Sanders on a delay. He has room inside the 20, breaks the tackle, touchdown Sanders. Testaverde go! He might score! He does score!
So that's the top 10. Now pick your best 5 and put them in order of merit on the left-hand side of a postcard, together with your name, address, and a daytime telephone number on the right. Then send it to Super Bowl 25 Competition, Cheerleader Productions, P.O. Box 1BW, London, W1A, 1BW. The closing date is next Wednesday, and we will announce the winner next Sunday. Well, I hope you've had fun with your picks, and I look forward to meeting one of you in Tampa. Johnny, are you going to be there?
Only if somebody will pay my way.
Are they going to?
Not that I know of.
Right, well, right now we've got a commercial. When we come back, we have the Bears versus the Giants. So quickly, go make a cuppa.
Daily Star. It's a right riveting read.
If you're too busy running your business to plan your business, get an expert to help you get it right. The Enterprise Initiative. Phone 0800 500 200.
Welcome back, everybody. The halftime score, 17-3, the Giants. John, what do the Bears have to do to get back in this game? If they'd scored, obviously, it would have just been a 7-point game.
I think what they'd like to get going, I'm sure they're telling their guys at halftime right now, is that we want to try and run the football. They're having trouble throwing the ball, and they're going to try and run it, but good luck.
You don't think that quarterback can do it, then?
Well, I think it's a combination of that. I think the Giants are just a better team.
Yeah, and also I don't think that the Bears really have great receivers, and that's not helping Tom Sack. Now let's get back to Giant Stadium. We pick up the action on New York's first possession of the half. They're leading at 17-3, as I've just said. They have a first down and 10 on Chicago's 39-yard line.
Anderson deep, Carthon in front of him. First down. Anderson to the 35. A gain of 4. Stopped by Perry. There's some life left in those legs.
I know it, and he's not talking about retiring. He's not talking about playing his last game. He's talking about getting in there and gaining yardage and continue to play. And you see what happens. He knows you're not going to move Perry. Bart Oates didn't move Perry an inch, but O.J. Anderson, when he came in, moved Perry a couple inches.
13 carries, 46 yards for Anderson. Hostetler fake to him, rolled out, threw for Guevara a little too hard and a little too far behind.
You know, Jeff Hostetler was saying yesterday that when he first became the starter, he felt that the Giants put in too many rollouts. You know, too many bootlegs, too many play passes, too many of those running type things, and didn't let him just be a quarterback. Then he said during that 2-week period, they eliminated a lot and just have the ones that he likes and the ones that he does well.
He also said something I thought was interesting. Unlike what some people think, he doesn't get back where he is now or under the center with the idea of running. He's back there to throw it. Hostetler, incomplete. Again in the direction of Bavaro, but again, the Bears applied the pressure. Morrissey was the first Bear there.
Yeah, Morrissey, Jim Morrissey came in and he knocked Hostetler right into the carpet. Watch that shot right there. Whoa. Now here's another 4th down, and the Giants have so much confidence in their 4th down that they're going for it. This would be a 52-yard field goal if they were to kick it with the win. It must not be in Matt Barr's range, so they're going to go for it on 4th.
So it's 4th and 6 for a first down. Kyle's in the game. Here's Hostetler looking for some place to get out of there. He does. Now he's chased by Perry. And that's no race. Hostetler for the first down. 8 yards he picked up and enough for a Giant first.
Hey, the two things that kill a defense is speed by wide receivers and a running quarterback. You just think of the different things that he gives you. Watch this. Hostetler, this isn't going to be a run. The others were bootlegs and runs. There's nothing open. Meggett was covered. He starts to the middle, bounces out. Now he has to outrun the fridge. Can he do it? Yep. And when he does it, that gives him the first down.
1st and 10, Giants at the 26-yard line of the Bears. Hostetler back to throw. Complete. And that's Baker out of bounds. Covered by Vesti Jackson. That's another Giant first down.
I'll tell you what, if you can throw like this with the wind, get some points here, then the Giants will be in great shape going against the wind in the 4th quarter and just playing strong defense.
And they've been able to run it to go along with that.
I'll tell you, Hostetler has really impressed me today. He was talking about throwing into the wind or with the wind. He said the big thing is grip. You don't want to grip it too hard. You just want to get the right grip. He's had the right grip today.
Anderson, the lone setback. Anderson twirls down inside the 10. A pickup of 7.
Mike Ditka's realizing right now that he's getting an old-fashioned whipping. I mean, they're doing it with a you know, we talked about a great game plan, but good mixture. But then it's not just calling, it's not just going for it, but it's making holes like this. It's making runs like this. It's physically controlling this football game.
2nd and 3. Anderson again inside the 5 to about the 3. That should be enough for a first.
I'll tell you, had Hostetler looked out here to the left, though, Pat, he would have had a free touchdown. Stephen Baker was standing out here on the left, and there was no one on him. Watch here. Here's Baker. There's no defender here. This one's trying to get over here. But had Hostetler looked and saw this, it would have been the easiest touchdown he ever had in his life. Of course, when you get down there, they're just pounding it in there anyway. They're just having fun. You beat on them for a couple quarters, and this is a fun part of the game.
1st and goal from the 3. Hostetler fake to Anderson. And now Hostetler will take off. Touchdown. Hostetler will hold for Matt Barr's effort at the extra point. Looking up at the scoreboard to recheck that touchdown he just made. Barr's extra point is good. The Giants lead 24-3 with 8:41 or 10:41 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Giants in control, led by Hostetler.
On the Bears' next drive, they drove downfield, but for the 2nd time failed on a 4th and goal opportunity. And as Mike Ditka looked on, he realized the Bears' season was over. Maurice Cawthorn jumped in from 1 yard out in the last minute to ice the victory for the Giants. Final score, the Giants 31, Bears 3. So the Giants will visit Candlestick Park next week, and the off-season has begun for the dejected Chicago Bears. John, can the Giants beat the 49ers?
Yes, I think they can. I think that Jeff Hostetler proved something today. They might be able to win with him.
All right, well, now let's go back to Gary and Giant Stadium to hear what they thought of the win.
They're all gratifying. They're all gratifying. But I'm pleased, and I'm looking forward to trying to play for the championship.
Great performance on offense today, but also two very important goal line stands by the defense.
Well, this was pretty much our best effort all season, and the way we played offensively and defensively is the way we're capable of playing. We come out and play like that next week, and we'll be on our way to Tampa. So it had some great individual plays and some great all-around team and good hustling, tackling, and all that. It just worked out fantastic.
Nick, before yesterday's game with Washington, some 49ers were indicating that they were more worried about the Redskins than either of the teams in this game. It'll be interesting to see what they think about the Giants now. I was talking to some New York writers during the game, writers who've covered the Giants all season, and they believe that with Jeff Hostetler's rollout ability and his ability to carry the ball, the team has a more varied and dangerous offense going into the NFC Championship game than they had even with Phil Simms at quarterback when they met the 49ers in Week 13. Whether it'll be enough to stop San Francisco reaching their third straight Super Bowl, we'll know next week. But there's perhaps a more open attacking championship game in prospect than there was this morning.
I think Gary's right. I think after watching that game, the 49ers are perhaps going to be a little bit more worried than they were before about playing them. As I watch the games this weekend, though, it seems to me like the AFC is coming back. In the recent years, the NFC have dominated, especially because of the 49ers winning the Super Bowls. But it seems like the AFC now has the opportunity. Do you agree with that?
I think so. I think that there's a couple of good football teams in the AFC right now. I think the Raiders and the Bills are two teams that have the potential to win the Super Bowl, more so than they have had in past years.
Do you think they match up well with the 49ers?
Well, I'm not sure anybody matches up well with the 49ers. I think what you have to count on or hope for is the 49ers kind of have an off day. If they play the way they're capable of playing, I don't know if anybody can stand up against them. But those two teams in the AFC have got as good a chance, you know, have a better chance than everybody.
Just quickly, the 49ers don't have a running game. Can other teams take advantage of that as we go into the conference championship games?
I don't think so, because the 49ers really, the way they play football is they don't really go up on top that much. They pound it out or they throw underneath, and that's the way they advance, keep the sticks moving.
All right, John. Well, thanks for being on this early program, and I'll see you later on, as will our audience. As we talk, the Raiders and Bengals are playing. The winner will meet the Bills next week to decide who will represent the AFC in Super Bowl 25. Well, last time they played, LA beat Cincinnati 24-7, but you can never count the schizophrenic Bengals out. At 12:10 tonight, John and I will be back with highlights of that game, and I hope you can join us. If not, I look forward to seeing you next week for Red 42 on Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday at 8:45, we'll have live coverage of the entire NFC Championship game from Candlestick Park between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. And we'll also have highlights of the AFC Championship game from Rich Stadium in Buffalo. So until later tonight, or next time, from Gary, John Riggins, and myself, good night.
The manageress has problems on the field as well as off it.
How much money did you put into the club to buy me the job?
I know that there's going to be a players' revolt on this, Mr. Chairman. And don't expect me to deal with it, because I'll be on their side.
That's the only way you can deal with me. Humiliate me or hump me.
When you go up and get your bum kissed by the press now, remember it was us who won the game for you.
Not bad for openers. Tomorrow we'll put in some real work.
The manageress tomorrow at 10 on 4. Walter Matthau is at his most inventive next tonight, breathing life into 3 very different characters who book into Suite 719 at the Plaza Hotel in New York.
Tomorrow on ITV, Godfrey's got a new job on the side.
Now that is what we call a woman Labour MP.
No job for a lady.
I don't know if you've espied me lately, bustling hither and yon with tremendous dispatch.
Yeah, I've seen you, shepherding your flocks. Are you fleecing them or just pulling the wool over their eyes?
Oh, very good.
A tour guide with an ulterior motive. That's No Job for a Lady, tomorrow at 9.
Disney World. If only, if only, if only. Wow, thanks, Mickey.
With the Daily Express, pick up this special booklet and your family could be one of 60 families flying Delta to Disney World. And that's no fairy tale.
This came with the post from the Inland Revenue today. Where's yours?
I filed it.
Behind the clock.
I don't pay tax.
You do? Banks and building societies take it from the interest on everybody's savings.
Do they?
Well, they did. But from April, if you don't pay income tax, like us, there's no need to pay tax on your savings.
Looks a doddle. You filled yours in, Mrs. Efficiency. Date of birth,
And then you hand it into your bank.
You look good.
Or building society. For your age.
If you don't have to pay income tax, you won't need to pay tax on your savings. Please hand your form in soon.
A very wise decision, sir, one lady owner. You obviously know a great deal about cars.
No.
No.
But I'm getting it inspected by a man who does.
Where exactly did you bury the car?
In the sand. I'm not helping much, am I, Dad?
No. But I know a man who can.
Can you fix it?
Not this time. But I know a man who can.
Whatever your motoring problems, you'll find the answer is the AA. Join now on 0800 91 9595.
Your replacement car, ma'am.
This is a very nice car.
Well, he's a very nice man.
Very nice, man. Very, very, very nice.
The AA. We're all you need to know.
In this continuous test, Duracell outlasts ordinary SP batteries by up to 6 times. No ordinary battery looks like it or lasts like it.
There's something I should tell you.
Yes?
A wolf may be more than he seems.
The Company of Wolves, Wednesday night at 10 on 4.
Now 3 different couples and 3 separate dramas unfold in the Plaza Suite.
In 1891, some of the country's finest dogs went to London. And Crufts was born, bringing pleasure to thousands of owners and dogs alike. 100 years on, the thrill of winning at the world's most famous dog show is as great as ever. But only one of them can be Crufts' supreme champion. And like so often in the past, it's a dog fed on Pedigree Chum and Pedigree Chum Mixer. No wonder top breeders recommend it.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet, the mild cigar.
If Christmas made you feel the way I used to look, remember, far more people lose weight at Weight Watchers than at any other slimming club. Just look at the difference Weight Watchers made to my life. So if you want to lose weight, join Weight Watchers.
Join now and you'll save £8 because for January only, registration is free. Join Weight Watchers now and save £8. You'll find us in Yellow Pages or phone 021 233 2383.
To look after your daisies during the coming months, firstly, select the correct pot. Add a little peat. Treat to a little flora that's high in polyunsaturates, low in saturates, and low in cholesterol. Now, transplant to the nursery and leave to settle. While you check your new seedlings. Flora margarine for your blooming generation.
Before Clifford discovered strong-tasting Listerine, his breath wasn't always...
Hello.
...environmentally friendly.
Oh, dear.
These days, he cooks by microwave, and twice a day he uses Listerine. It kills germs that can cause bad breath and helps stop germs forming plaque, a major cause of gum disease. Listerine antiseptic mouthwash, morning and night.
Oh, Clifford.
Strong enough to take your breath away.
Every day.
Meteorite storm. Scotty, beam us up.
Scotty! Scotty!
Don't worry, Captain. It's only a shower.
I don't need a brolly, you wally. Beam us up.
Captain, I haven't got the power.
Try, man, try. Power! More power!
Brilliant power, man. Uh-oh. Start again.
Well, he certainly hasn't got the power. Good afternoon. But you could have. National Power and PowerGen. To register for a prospectus in the generating company's share offers, call 0272 272 272.